Hi and welcome, it's Ruth here at artfulstampin.co.uk, and it's been a little while since I've done the Stampin' Sunday blog hop, and I've really missed out on doing them over the last many months, and thought, you know what, new 2025, I'm going to try and make sure that I do them. So it's late Saturday night and I'm just hopefully going to make quite a quick-ish card and yeah, go from there. Okay, so the theme this month is heart and home, and it's kind of fairly open, I think, as to what we want to do. But it was kind of an obvious choice to go with this beautiful celebration stamp, and I might use the dies, we'll see. But it's called heart shaped, so it fits in beautifully, and got this lovely detailed, kind of like a viney looking heart wreath. So my plan is to do some heat embossing and lots of inky goodiness and see what happens. So I have pre-cut a base here. I will give you the measurements of that. The base measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 in terms of it when it's closed, and that's using basic white cardstock. Then I've got a piece of DSP that measures 5.5 inches by 5.5, and that is from the Country Woods DSP. Then a piece of glimmer paper that measures, let's have a look, 3 3/4. And I went and punched out a circle because I don't want to waste that glimmer paper because you're not going to see it. And then a piece of watercolour paper that measures 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to clear my decks now because I want to use my embossing buddy and do some embossing. So I've got my lovely embossing buddy here. Basically, this is a little cotton sack or fabric sack of powder in order to make sure that we've got rid of anything sticky on our paper, because we're going to be applying some ink and then covering it with some powder, and we don't want any powder to stick where it doesn't want to. So here I have a very well-loved, well-used Versamark ink pad that is available from Stampin' Up. It's not by Stampin' Up, but it's so good that Stampin' Up stock it, and I am making sure that I'm inking really well this stamp because I only have one shot at this, and the card that I'm using is textured. Now I do have a stamping mat underneath here because I'm using photopolymer and I need that little bit of give when I push my stamp down into the cardstock. And I'm going to hold it there just for a bit longer than I normally would, because as I said, I've only got one shot with this to try and make sure that that ink is transferred. So while that is sitting there, I'm going to grab my white embossing powder, and I'm just going to grab a slip of just scrap paper here and lift that away and hope that there's enough ink on there to, yes, I've done it. There's enough, I think, powder on there to have a bit of a pattern coming through. There we go. And I'm going to go and grab my heat tool. So now I'm using my heat tool to apply heat all over that design, melt it down, and that image is then going to be locked in a way to the cardstock, and is going to allow me to add further colour, and that image is going to remain white, which is what I want. I want that really lovely stark contrast of white with other colours. So I think that's everything. I'm just going to double check to make sure all the image is lovely and shiny, and it is. So now I want to apply some ink using my blender brushes. I was thinking originally of doing some watercolour, but I'm going to go with blending instead. So I've got Coastal Cabana and Summer Splash, and I want to add these colours fairly in, like, not random places, but in different areas. I'm not having sort of like the heart being a particular colour or anything like that. I'm just adding colour and building it up bit by bit. So that was Coastal Cabana. Now Summer Splash is very close to Coastal Cabana. So I'm just going to add a bit of that. And look, you can see where the image has been already embossed, how it's really popping through that ink. Then I've got some Poppy Parade, using a different brush for that. I don't want to contaminate my blue brush with red, because as you can see, when the colours mix together, because they're nearly opposite each other on the colour wheel, it's making a whole new colour that's kind of a bit of a neutral colour there. But anyway, it's okay. It's okay. We'll go with it. Look at that gorgeous imagery coming through. Now, I am going to be cleaning all that ink off in a minute, but before I do, I want to add some additional textures. And I love this new Elements of Text stamp set. It's pretty much going to go on everything I stamp. It seems to be going on everything I stamp at the moment. So if you are new to my channel, please do go ahead and subscribe, because I have got, I think, literally thousands of videos on this channel, various stamping, and any script stamp that seems to come out with Stampin' Up! Soon becomes a firm favourite of mine. So I'm just going to apply some script here and there. So I'm just going to do that, because we've got loads of other images in here, and I really like this this one too. It's a bit of a vintage typewriter kind of looking one. Grab another block. I'll pop some of that on as well. Just here and there, and it's okay that I've got some gaps, because you know there's other images that I can get on here. All right, so that's that. Oh, I've just realised my outfit matches my card. Maybe subconsciously, I'm a bit passionate. Well, it is one of my favourite colour combos. But yeah, isn't that funny? I didn't realise I dressed for the occasion so well. So this is a little bit of a splattery stamp that's super fun, and I'm just going to pop that all over. Right, and I'm going to go back to that stamp set and use this floral and this here, and then I'm wondering whether to use some of that script. I'll come back to that in a second. Let me use these first. So get a little block, and I'm going to swap out now to using a bit of real red, and now do I want to just do some flowers around there? Maybe just in 3 spots. Yeah, that'll be fine. Oh, I'm actually need to get ink on my nail, which often happens. Let's get rid of that. Oh, it's just swapping out for this really dinky little leaf. It's so cute. And rather than having those attached to the flowers, I'm kind of popping those onto a different part of the wreath, just to add some more detail there, here and there. Okay, quite like that. Then we've got My Heart Loves Your Heart. I mean, I don't know if I'd give that. I'm trying to think, would I give this to my husband? Just because I care. My thoughts of you are all heart-shaped. You see, I just wouldn't give my husband something like that. And I think this could be a nice Valentine's card. So I'm not going to go there with those sentiments. What else can I do? I could edge. Let's pop a little bit of ink on the edge. So I'm just dipping my cardstock into the ink pad. I just feel like this corner needs a bit more, so a little bit more texture maybe. Oh yeah, I think that's pretty much it really. Maybe a tiny bit more of this on the side. I think that'll be that. Now I've got to find a little cloth, and I do have one here. You can see that all that lovely white embossing has been covered by ink, so I'm just going to get a little bit of cloth on the end of my finger now and just rub in small circles, because the ink will be coming off onto my fabric and then going back into the paper, and I kind of want the area around the white embossing to be quite dark to really make that white pop. So I'm going to find a cleaner bit to really burnish and make it stand out. How cute is that? So this is looking very nice and grungy and vintage and all that kind of thing. So let's bring back my pieces, and I think that against that just adds a little bit of extra kind of glitz and glamour, and then against that lovely brown sort of wood grain just brings it back down, makes it a little bit more masculine, which is I think what I am trying to go for. Right, now this is when I've lost my glue. Ah, there we go. Lost it momentarily. So because I've got to glue this now to my glimmer paper, I'm just going to make sure that a good amount of glue goes on there, because this glimmer paper is textured, and so you do need to give it a little bit of extra gluey love. But be aware of not putting glue near to the edge where it's going to start seeping out of the sides. So give that a really good press down, and I think while I'm waiting, or while I'm carrying on with something else, I'm just putting a block on there to get that to really well adhere. And then with my snips here, I'm going to slightly distress my wood grain paper, because as I said, we're kind of going for a bit of a vintagey look here. And I am wondering about getting out my basic beige pad and just vintaging up my edges. This white is a little bit too clean looking, in my opinion. So a little bit of a scrapey scrape. Well, can't get my hands on basic beige, so I'm just going to go with good old crumb cake, and I've managed to get ink on my cardstock, but that's okay. And I'm just going to tap my ink pad down the edge of my card like so, just adding a bit of, well, a bit of a vintagey colour there. Let's get this stuck down before I get any more ink anywhere else. This is what happens when I get a bit inky. Hopefully this is nice and adhered. Yeah, I think it is. And I'm going to make sure I put plenty of glue on the back here, and also this section. And there you have it, Heart and Home, using the heart-shaped stamp set that's free during celebration. It does have dies to match, and I haven't ended up having to use them, but they are very pretty, just to let you know. They are very pretty. So just use that main focal heart stamp set did white heat embossing, then a bit of ink blending and some other stamps. So the other stamps that I used were Elements of Text, which is an online exclusive, so you won't see this in the paper catalogue, and that one is 164774. And then if you add that to your basket and you get to over £110, you can then choose this stamp set and the dies that come with it for free. It's a really pretty stamp. Lovely for sort of anniversaries, Valentines, weddings and so forth. So thank you so much for joining me. Please do go and check out my blog post. It's going to be in the description, and link to all the amazing other hoppers. I am so honoured to be counted with this group of people. There are some incredibly talented, very artistic and people on the artisan design team, which is just amazing. So go and show them some love, and go and get a little bit of loving up from their blogs because of the theme Heart and Home. Lots of love for now. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.